Hello and welcome to another video. So, I played Chorus for the first time and I have a few things to say about this game. Chorus is a fast-paced space combat single-player game with some very interesting gameplay and features. But I also noticed that the ratings and the reception of this game has been mixed. I'll talk about that later on in the video. Is this game a good game? Should you buy it? Should you avoid it? Wait for a sale or discount? Is this game worth your hard-earned money? Let's find out in this video. First thing I want to say is that the name of this game did not do this game justice, at least for me. First time I heard about this game, I honestly thought this was a musical game because of the name Chorus, until I discovered that this is an action game. This is a space shooter game with intense combat. So don't worry, this is not a musical game. This is not High School Musical, the game. This is not Sound of Music, the game. This is a space shooter game. This is an action game, or should I say action adventure. But before we dive deep into the discussion, as always, we are going to know a little bit about the game. Like, I'm talking about the game info. So this game was released December 2021 and it was developed by Deep Silverfish Labs. The game is available on Windows, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. I played the Windows version and I bought my own on the Epic Game Store. What about the game reception? So far, I have seen that this game has mixed reception from both critics and gamers. When it comes to reviews, I think it is best you play the game for yourself and make up your own mind. What I will say in this video is my own personal experience with the game. You are allowed to like or hate the game. Because people don't like the game does not mean you cannot like the game, or because people like the game does not mean you cannot hate it. That is the beauty of personal preference. So feel free to like or hate the game. That's your own personal preference. But what do I think about the game? What are my own thoughts? Well, the game is an okay game. This is not the best thing man has ever made, and it is not the worst thing man has ever made. The game sits in between. It sits somewhere in the middle. I think the game is an okay game. If you can ignore the story, I'm going to talk about the story later on in the video. But if you can ignore the story, I think you're going to enjoy the game. I love the combat. I love the gameplay. This is the PC requirements according to Steam. If you want to get the best experience out of this game, you need to play this game on a computer with graphics card. Although I played this game on a laptop that has Intel Xe graphics, I had to drop the graphics settings to medium, sometimes even low. It played smooth, but sometimes I was experiencing dropped frames and then it suddenly crashed. So the game was always crashing on an Intel Xe graphics. I think if you play this game on a computer with a graphics card, I don't think you are going to experience crashes, because when I played it on my own hardware, I did not experience any crash. And this is my hardware. I played the game on a Core i7 10th gen CPU, Nvidia RTX 2060 with 6 gigs of VRAM, 32 gigs of RAM and 4TB SSD. Now let's dive deep into the discussion. Let's talk about the difficulty of this game. One thing I've come to understand when it comes to difficulty of a game is that it depends on your skill level. If you've been gaming for a very long time, playing games on normal is not really challenging. Well, depends on the kind of game. But if you are new to gaming, you might want to start playing games on easy difficulty. Play the game on whatever difficulty you feel like is comfortable for you. But I played the game on normal difficulty and I think the game is balanced. I don't think this is Dark Souls kind of game. This is a balanced kind of game. It is not so difficult that it starts to become annoying, and it is not too easy that it starts to become boring. I think it sits somewhere in the middle. When it comes to the combat, I think this is where this game shines. The combat of this game is incredible and fast-paced. I don't think I've played any space shooter with this kind of controls and intense combat. This game makes me feel like I am Maverick in space. If you've watched Top Gun Maverick, it gives me this Maverick feeling. I am not saying the game copied Top Gun Maverick or that Top Gun Maverick copied this game. All I'm saying is that the game makes me feel badass like Maverick. I feel like I should call this game Space Gun Maverick 2077. I love the combat. And also on the issue of combat, you have your weapons and you have some unique abilities, or what the game call rites. I'm going to break down the combat section into two parts. we have the weapons, and then we have the rites. So let's start with the weapons. When it comes to the weapons, there are 3 types or class of weapons, or should I say 3 types of weapons. There's the laser, the Gatling gun, and the missiles. I barely use the laser type of weapon in this game. I use more of the Gatling gun. Then my second favorite type of weapon is the missiles. And when it comes to the weapons in this game, the game gives you this type of option where you have high fire rates and low damage, or low fire rates, high damage. I enjoyed using the Gatling gun more than all the other weapons. And then the second weapon I used the most was the missiles. I use missiles mostly when I'm fighting big or large enemies, because I discovered that when I'm using the missiles on smaller enemies, it's hard to hit them. They dodge my missiles easily. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to be using missiles on bigger enemies. But I love using the Gatling gun. There are some guns that, especially the Gatling guns, there are some of them that when you equip, the fire rate is very low, but the damage is ridiculously high. Let us now talk about the rites. Rites in this game are more like unique or special abilities, or what I will call space magic. These rites makes your flight or combat more satisfying. You unlock these rites one after the other at certain points in the game. When you play the main campaign, when you play the main story, you will eventually unlock all the rites. Let's start with the rites of sense. The rites of sense is more like the ability to sense and highlight objects of interest.
If the circle doesn't find us, I can still reach out with my rite of senses and find them.
Many of all these modern games have stuff like that. When you press one button, you just sense things around you. You see enemy footsteps. It will highlight objects of interest and stuff like that. So this thing just feels like every other RPG. Now let's talk about drift trance, which I think is what makes this game unique, like very unique. The drift trance is basically you drifting a spaceship in space.
I register all your intentions.
So we can enter the drift trance.
I never thought I was going to enjoy something like this, but I absolutely love the mechanic. I love this mechanic. Although learning to drift can be challenging, but when you master this drift trance, it is one of the coolest space shooter mechanic I have ever seen. You drift to aim and shoot, you drift to maneuver through debris and obstacles. See, the drift of this game just takes the combat to a whole new level. Like, I am impressed. Now let us talk about Rites of the Hunt. It is the ability to teleport. You teleport to the back of your enemies and then you shoot them.
The targets you asked for, Forcer.
And the hunt begins. Go for the kill.
I have not seen any space shooting dogfighting game that has something like this where you teleport to the back of your enemies and shoot them. Rites of the Storm. This is more like a disruptor. This right or this ability or this, should I say, skill works best against shielded enemies.
Their shields.
My storm rite can handle them.
You use the Rites of the Storm to take down their shield and you finish them off with your weapons. You can also use the Rites of the Storm to stun your enemies, causing them to lose control of their aircraft and sometimes even crashing into walls. Nice. Let's look at the Rites of the Star. This thing turns your plane or your aircraft or your spaceship into a shooting star and smash through enemies.
These faceless are real.
And my rite of the star will burn them.
But be careful while using this rite because you can crash into walls or debris or buildings and die. But the thing is, if you are good at drifting, you are not really going to have issues using the Rites of the Star in tight places, because I was actually using it a lot at one point, even at a very tight space where I was fighting some bad guys. What about Rites of Control? Rite of Control is basically telekinesis. I barely use this rite. In fact, I forgot about it. It was when I beat the game and I wanted to make this review. I was like, whoa, there was actually a Rite of Control where I could catch enemy planes and throw them away and stuff like that. This game is an RPG with side quests, leveling up and stuff. Even though the game is an RPG, it still lacks some features like ship customizations, but you can install mods. you don't level up your character directly. Instead, you level up her rights and her weapons. I'll talk about that later on in the video. You can upgrade your ship hull and your shield, the shield of your ship. So when it comes to leveling up your weapons and your rights, the more you use your weapons or the more you use your rights, the more you level them up. So for instance, when you look at this part of the menu where you see Gatling gun, laser cannon, missile launcher, hunter, apex predator, you see it says destroy enemies destroyed with Gatling gun 403, like that. So the more you use all these skills, all these weapons, the more you level them up. And the maximum level is level 5. That's the only way to level up. This one now, it is all. You can look at weapons, the Gatling gun, laser, missile launcher. You look at the rights, hunter, apex predator, blah blah blah. You look at combat, destroyer, enemies destroyed, reckless. There are some things that when I'm doing it, it will be giving me some points that eventually will level up the skill or stuff like that. So leveling up, it is okay, if that's what I'm going to call it. Like I said, maximum level is level 5. What about the mods? You don't have many options when it comes to mods. When we go to the mods part of the game, you can access the mod by just entering the menu and you go to ship. You see core systems, that is ship structure, Gatling, laser, missiles. Then you now look at modifications, slot 1, slot 2, slot 3. When we look at slot 1, you see defense, weapons, powers, utility. That's all. So you don't really have much options when it comes to modifications. Another way to access your mod is that you have to land on one of those hangars. Let's go to this hangar and land on it. No, I'm not going to talk to this civilian ship. Let's land on this hangar. Skip. So when you're in the hangar menu, you can upgrade your shield, your hull fragment. You can upgrade your hull, your shield, and this is basically a robot for repairing your ship when it is damaged. You can buy more weapons. I basically bought everything. You can get lasers. I don't really use lasers. Missiles. Look at the missiles you get in the game. Not bad, but whatever. So this is the mods. So I don't know, man. When it comes to modifications and customization, the game does not give you a lot of options. But one thing I'm going to say about applying mods to your ship is that it depends on your playstyle. If you use more rights than weapons, there are mods that improve your right effectiveness, gives you extra slots for right, it increases your right recharge speed. But if you are more of a Gatling gunner, there are mods you install that will cool down the Gatling gun faster, it will increase your Gatling gun damage and stuff like that. So I think they were limiting the mod so that you will equip it based on your playstyle, but somehow I still feel like there should have been more when it comes to customizations and modifications. And just like every other RPG, you have the main story and then you have the side missions or the side quests. The side quests of this game are some of them are fine, some of them are just I enjoyed some of the side quests, I won't lie. I enjoyed some of the side quests, while others were short and repetitive. Like the calibration side quest or the fuel transfer side quest. If you play the game, you understand what I'm saying. The calibration side quest. You're going to calibrate a lot of ships. You're going to hack a lot of ships. You're going to transfer fuel to a lot of ships. It will just be repetitive. But there are some other side quests that I think make sense, because those side quests gives you very powerful weapons and even some very good modifications for your ship. I would recommend you do some side quests. And apart from earning weapons and mods, you also earn credits from doing side quests. You use the credits to purchase mods and also to purchase upgrades. What about the story of this game? I think this is the most divisive part of this game. I won't say the story was amazing, but the story was not bad, if I'm going to use that word. The story is just meh. Like, this is a game about regrets and redemption. I would say the story is serviceable. Don't expect any mind-blowing plot twist or story that will make you ponder the meaning of life and stuff like that. Nope. The story of this game is just Personally, I think the story is just average. I feel like they could have done more with the story. And when it comes to the characters, some of the characters of this game are not so interesting. They are just there. Maybe some people will call this game a mobile game Pro Plus Max Ultra, but I don't really think this is a mobile game Pro Plus Max Ultra, because some people there was a video I was watching, I can't remember where, I wish I had screenshot it. Some people were saying that the game looks like a mobile game. It looks like a glorified mobile game. I don't think the game looks like a glorified mobile game. It looks better than a mobile game. The game has amazing visuals. This game is a good game. But you see, when it comes to reviews, like I said, it is a personal preference thing. Some people like the story, but me, I think the story is just meh. If you like the story, fine. If you don't like the story, also fine. Overall, I like the game. The game looks amazing. Although you don't have a lot of areas to explore, but overall, I think the game looks good. And I love how they paid attention to small details, like how parts of our ship moves when you brake or you enter drift trance. Like, just look at how cool it is. When you brake, you see the way the back of the ship is moving, and when you enter the drift trance, just look at how the ship expands and stuff. Like, I like that. Paying attention to small details like that is nice. It is a nice thing to see. Even though I said the game looks nice, there are times when I watch the cutscenes of Nara and I'm like, like the animation looks terrible sometimes. Overall, I think the game looks amazing. And I've been saying it in my videos, I don't really prioritize graphics when it comes to games. I believe there are more important things than graphics. But you see, if the game has good graphics, we say yes, it has good graphics. And I love the theme music of this game. The music or the song that plays when you're in the main menu. I love the way the song is. Gives me chills every time I listen to it. And the background music when you're in combat, I love that sound. Like, it adds to the intensity of the combat, it adds to the intensity of the game. So when it comes to sound design, I would say this game has good sound design, good background music, good theme music. The game throws you right into combat in the first 15 to 30 minutes of gameplay. Although the game can feel slow sometimes when you're moving from place to place. This game's fast travel, it has fast travel, but the fast travel is limited. You can only fast travel to jump gates, and that's all. And then you use the jump gates to move from one system to another. That's it. You just, when you want to jump, you select different systems, and that's it. But when you open the map, like if you're already in a system and you open the map, you can't just fast travel from one point to another. You can only fast travel to the jump gate. So if you want to go to any part of the map, or if you want to go somewhere in this game, you have to fly there. You will have to fly there. So if it is far, you just have to fly and waste your time flying. Let's talk about the game settings menu. When you launch the game, this is what you see. Continue, load game, new game, settings, credits, exit game. Obviously, continue and load game is showing because I've been playing the game. So let's go to settings. When it comes to settings, under gameplay, this is what you see. Feel free to pause the video if you want to look at it. Let's move to controls. This is what you get in controls. Then display. I am using my second monitor, full screen 1080p. I game on 1080p. Visuals, I am using epic settings because I believe my laptop can handle it. Audio, let's go to audio. This is what you get in audio. Accessibility, That was all. Nothing much in settings. You see, gameplay, controls, display, visuals, audio, accessibility. That was all. Nothing much. The UI is just basic. It's just basic, not too complicated. And that was all for settings menu. What about the game menu? When you press the menu button, this is what you see. The map, missions. You see, I have finished the game, so there's no side missions here for me to show you. You can switch from story, all story, side missions, but no side mission. Then when we move to the ship, you see we have the core systems. That is ship structure, Gatling, laser, missiles, slot 1, slot 2, slot 3. That is for modifications. When we go to ship structure, this is what you get: hull fragment, shield fragment, stuff like that. This one is just to upgrade the hull fragments, upgrade the hull of your ship. You see I'm maxed out. Ship fragments, shield fragments, I'm maxed out. Then this other one, RD26AC fixer. You can read about it if you want by pausing the video rather. Let's look at Gatling guns. These are the Gatling guns I have unlocked in the game. I think you can unlock more, I don't know, but these are the ones I've unlocked. Laser, these are the ones you have. These are the ones I have. It's not, no, you don't have it, I have it. I have it. It is me that have it. Missiles. These are the missiles I have. The ones I have. So like I said, let me even show you what I was talking about when it comes to Gatling and stuff like that. When it comes to damage, you see the one I've equipped, fire rate is very high, 33. But you see, hull damage 9, shield damage 6, armor damage 3. When you now go to this other one, where is it? Shredding claw. You see it is showing hull damage 69, fire rate 4.5. So you see that you can choose low fire rate, high damage. Same thing with the missiles. When you go to the missile, you see it. The one I'm using has fire rate 4.5, hull damage 240. Look at this one, fire rate just 1, hull damage 624. Insane. Then when we look at modification, slots, I think I've showed this one before, so nothing really much to show here. Then when you look at the right, this is what I was talking about. When you press the menu button, it shows you about the rights of the senses. You can pause the video and read it if you want. Drift trance, the ability to drift, impressive. Like I said, impressive. Rites of the hunt, teleportation. Rites of the storm, rites of the star, smash through objects. And then rites of control, telekinesis. Then mastery, you see, upgrades and stuff. Why did I go to maps? Upgrades, weapons, rights, combat. So that's basically it. Another way to find some other menu, like I said, is when you go to the hangar. I think I've showed the hangar before. So that's basically it when it comes to the menu part of this video. What about replayability? Can you replay this game after you have beaten the game or after you have finished the game? When you launch the game, like you see, continue, load game, new game. When you beat the game, let me even go to load game. I have 2 saved profiles. The first one is that I have beaten the game. The second one is that I have to start the game all over again. The reason why is that when you beat the game and you want to continue the game, you cannot replay missions and there is no new game plus. Once you beat the game and you go to continue, it takes you back to the final mission. If you've played some RPG games where you're about to end the game and you get to a point, the game will tell you, if you've not done all the side quests and all, go back, do all the side quests, do everything, and then when you've done it, once you start this mission, there is no return. So that's how this game is.
If there is anything else, better do it now. Are you ready?
Yes, it's time. Signal our forces, and I will speak to the galaxy. nothing left but to fight.
The only option when it comes to replaying this game is number 1, you select continue in the main menu and then you keep replaying the last mission before the boss fight. Or number 2, you select new game and then you start all over from the beginning without your mods, your credits, your upgrades. You start afresh. So there is no new game plus. It is either you keep replaying the final mission or you start afresh and then you lose everything, you lose all your progress, which is very annoying. I don't know why they did not put new game plus for an RPG. I think it will make more sense if this game has new game plus where I carry over all my upgrades, all my mods, all my credits and then I start the game all over from the beginning with all my upgrades. I think it will make more sense, but to say I will have to start all over from the beginning and then I lose everything, I lose all my progress, it doesn't make sense to me. Time for some random discussion. So when it comes to the random discussion, we've talked about all the serious part of the game. Now I just want to talk about random things. There is no grinding. This game is a straight to the point game. You don't have to grind to get credits or materials for purchases and upgrades. Although I will still suggest you explore a little and do side quests for credits and mods. Then there is something I call first time thrill, FTT. Have you ever played a game or watched a movie for the first time and it was an amazing experience, but later you watch that same movie or you play that same game again and you realize that that piece of media is dog shit? Yes, there are some things that suffer from FTT. I won't say chorus, at least for me. I don't think it suffers from FTT. It does not suffer from first time thrill. I enjoyed the game the second time and the third time I played the game as much as I enjoyed the first gameplay or playthrough. I think I can still play this game for more years to come. You know, there are some games that when you play once, you'll just be done with those games. It like those games don't have replay value. And you see, this thing even annoys me because I talked about replayability. I said you cannot replay the game like a new game plus and you cannot replay missions. When you want to replay the game, it throws you to the last mission. And I love the combat. So if I want to replay this game, are they trying to tell me that I have to start this game from beginning? Like, I am still not over that replayability issue. It is still pissing me off. So even though I say to me the game does not suffer from FTT, if I want to replay the game, I have to start all over again from the beginning. This game has controller support. In fact, I played this game from start to finish using controllers. I used Xbox Series X controller, so you are good if you have Xbox controllers. Even Xbox, I think it's Xbox One controller, I used it, works perfectly fine. I use the wireless controller and the wired controller, works fine. One issue I know that some people will have with this game is that there is no cockpit camera view. There are some people that want to experience the game like they are the ones piloting the game. The only view you have is just the view behind the spaceship. For me, I don't mind it. I even like playing games like this. Show me the full ship, the full aircraft. But some people want to have this cockpit camera view because they want to feel like they are really in control of the aircraft. Something else I'll add is, while you play the game, Nara talks to herself occasionally. Some people may find this thing annoying, but anytime she starts talking to herself, I'm like, like, at one point, I'm like, I don't even really care. I just want to shoot bad guys. I don't really care when she talks to herself. I'm just like, I just want to shoot guys. I just want to shoot other aircrafts. I just want to shoot bad guys. And she also talks to her ship. Her ship is a sentient ship. I will not say it is AI. The ship is alive. So occasionally she talks to her ship. That one too, I'm like, I just want to shoot me some bad guys. So I don't really care when she starts to talk to her ship. So some people might not like this. Some people might like it. But when I was playing the game, I was like, she's talking again, and I don't really care about it. The boss fight of this game is one of the longest boss fights I have ever seen. Maybe it's because I was not able to kill the boss on time. I don't know. But the boss fight of this game is long. Like, it's quite long. It may be a good thing or a bad thing depending on who is playing. Some people like long, challenging boss fights, but some people just want the game to be over so that they can move on to the next thing. The boss fight was long. This is one of the longest I've seen. Now let's conclude the video. What do I like about this game and what are my dislikes? I like the good combat. I like the good, intense combat. I like that I don't have to grind and play for 3 million years before I can get materials to upgrade. I like this addition of what the game calls the Rites. Rites makes the game feel fresh and different from other space shooters I've played. The game has good visuals, the graphics is good. Some people say the game looks like glorified mobile game, or the game looks like mobile game Pro Plus Max Ultra, but I don't think so. I think the game looks good. The difficulty is balanced. It is not too difficult or too easy. I think the difficulty is balanced, so I like that about this game. And the game does not suffer from FTT, at least for me. So what about my dislikes? What are the things I don't like? Limited fast travel. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that we don't have much customization options and modifications. It's too limited. No new game plus. You must start the game all over again if you want to play the game. If you want to replay the game, you have to start all over again. So to me, it doesn't make sense. Why won't you include new game plus in a game made in 2021? So those are my likes and my dislikes. When it comes to rating this game, I am confused. I don't really know what to give this game. Seriously, I don't know what to rate this game. I like the game. There are some things about this game that I enjoy, while some things about the game were just meh. But I like the game. I recommend the game. If I were to rate this game, I seriously don't know what to rate this game. But the game is a good game. I like the combat. I like the gameplay. It's nice. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Have you played this game? Do you like the game? If you've not played the game, are you interested? Will you check the game out? Will you buy the game? Will you wait for a sale? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, if you like the video, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe for more videos like this, share the video, and I will see you in the next video.